Hello and welcome. In this game, baby Leela gets a strong English attack in the Sicilian Najdorf and then completely confuses Fire in a hallucinating ending. The game was played in the 6th tournament of Chess.com's Computer Chess Championship, also known as CCCC, and with white we have baby Leela, codenamed Test 40, who has completed about 60-70% of her training and is the younger sister of the better-known sis that won the last TCC Cup and came second in the superfinal. So let's see what baby Leela can do. In this game against Fire, as we can see, she managed to push Gary up the board and open some lines for the attack. Now, she doesn't care so much about the weak f3 pawn, she just heads with the king to the safety of a2, where the king can watch the show in peace. Fire decides to take the pawn, and now Leela chases the rook away and goes for the control of the open c-file. Black tries to open up the king, and the rook infiltrates into black's position. b4, a4. Of course, Leela keeps it blocked, because now it is impossible to attack the king frontally. The bishop attacks the rook, but he is very happy on c6. Queen e7. The queen attacks the knight, but this one can't wait to jump to f4. Bishop e4. The bishop also gets into a nice attacking position. g6 and h4. All white pieces are nicely placed, so here comes the attack. King there, bishop f3, trying to help Harry to attack the g6 pawn. Queen f6, h5 and g5. Fire keeps it closed but weakens the king, so now bishop back to e4. h6 and bishop c5, attacking d6 by making use of the pin. Bishop e7, queen g4, king up and rook c1. Black is kind of squeezed. Rook f7, making way for the other rook. Bishop e3, releasing the pressure on d6 but liberating the c5 for the rooks. Bishop d8, anticipating an attack on a5. Rook a6, bishop c7 and rook c6. Leela is putting maximum pressure on black. Rook e7, bishop c5, rook d8, rook a7, queen f7, getting out of the pin. So bishop e3, king back, queen d1, king g8. Black doesn't have moves. Bishop g6. Black can't take twice because the c7 bishop is attacked. So queen g7, queen c2, attacking the bishop, and black can't defend with the other rook because of bishop f5. So black has to move the bishop and loses a pawn. Black is getting squashed. Rook f8, rook a8, threatening rook c8 and winning the bishop. So knight takes, pawn takes, and rook e8 defending. Rook b6, going for another pawn. Queen d7, rook b4, king up, a5, and that pawn is going to queen. Rook c8, queen d3, king f6. The king is bored, so is coming out to help a bit. Rook b6, queen f5, trying to exchange the queens to release some pressure, but queen b5 avoiding it, since the white king is very happy on a2 while the black king is getting a lot of action. Bishop c7, takes, and rook c6. The king now takes the pawn, but after queen b7 the bishop is hard to defend, because after queen d7 bishop b6 comes, winning the pin bishop, so Fire gives it up. Rook takes, rook f8 and a6. That pawn is unstoppable, and that extra queen will be exactly what Leela needs to extinguish the fire. Queen f3, rook back, rook e8, a7. Queen goes back to prevent promotion, but here comes the b pawn. g4, b5, king h4, b6, h5, queen c6, and there's no defense against b7. Queen f7, b7, rook g8, and finally Leela queens. Rook g6, trying to avoid exchanges, and now queen a8, a surprising move, trying to overprotect d5. King h3, trying to help the pawns. Queen b8, king back. And now Leela realizes that she needs a knight in order to make progress. Black managed to create a strong fortress, so she needs the trickiest piece to get to the king. Rook f6, knight c7, going for the king. Rook f3, and now queen a8. Leela protects again the soul of her position, the all-important d5 pawn. Queen f5, queen a7, and rook f1. Fire is threatening a devastating check on b1, but queen a8. Leela is not impressed. Rook f3, knight a6, king h3, queen b7. Leela reorganizes her pieces into more active positions. h4 and knight b8, defending the queen on c6. Rook f1, queen a8. And finally, fire goes for the check. Will Leela get mated? King b3, rook f6, king b4, blundering the pawn on b2. But fire missed the opportunity, and now Leela saves the pawn. Rook g6, king b5, queen d1, and b4. Leela might want another piece, maybe another dark-squared bishop could be handy. Rook g4, and queen takes the pawn. Check, king up, and queen b2. Queen a3, trying to simplify the position, but fire refuses to exchange. King b7, it looks like the king wants to promote too, but rook g7 and king c6. And now comes rook g6. Leela blundered her queen. So takes, and d6. I have a feeling though that Leela will get back her queen. g2, trying to promote, but bishop g1. King g4, king c7, e4, d7, queen f7 pinning, but now b5. There wasn't this much pawn aggression since the orcs attacked the white city of Gondor. King g7, b6, queen e5, king b7, queen d5, and finally the king manages to hide. Queen g5 and king to the corner. Queen g8 and king back. Queen check again. Leela doesn't want to risk a repetition, so knight c6, but this drops d7. King a6, queen e6, b7, and e3. Fire is tired of chasing Leela's pawns, so maybe tries to get her own queen. Finally, Leela promotes. This will now probably be over soon. King h5, king a7, going for a better square. Queen d7, king b6, queen f7, queen a8. Leela is trying to confuse fire. King up, queen b7, and king g7. The black queen is exhausted, so the king comes to help. And finally, Leela manages to exchange the queens. What is left for fire? 3 pawns. That is potentially 3 queens, so still not over. King a5, e2, but now rook c1, stopping the pawn. But fire wants to promote himself, at least once, so he gets a rook. Leela takes, and now king f6. King b4, king g5, and king b3. Maybe the king goes now to a1, which is a pretty safe square. Both the queen and the rook are guarding it. King f6, king a2, h3, and king b2. Maybe trying to get the pawns, but h2, bishop takes, and king g7. King b3, and now fire promotes to a queen. Maybe he manages a stalemate. Bishop takes, king g6, and now queen a8. I think Leela is trying to get the king from behind, but the king is alert, so king g7. But now queen g8. What's this move about? I think the idea is to lure the black king to the last rank. King takes, and now rook e7. Yes, that's the idea. King h8, but now rook g7. Baby Leela blunders the rook. This must have been a mouse slip or something. I don't think she wanted to give up her rook like that. The king takes, and what now? Does baby Leela know how to mate with bishop and knight? What a blunder. Can she win this now? King c4, king f6, king d5, king there, knight e5, king f4, bishop f2. I think she knows how to do this. Table bases might help a notch. King there, king f6, knight c4, king e6, bishop g3. She's doing great. King back, king d5, king back, king c6, king d8, bishop d6. The king is trying to run. King d5, king f7, king e5, king back, king there, king d8, knight b6. King back and bishop c7. Yes, she knows how to do this. So after a couple more moves, the king was forced to the corner, and shortly after that, baby Leela managed to win. A grueling game for both, but in the end, the player with the better nerves managed to win. A great game by baby Leela. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe and also like and share, and check out some more games. Maybe you will find them interesting. Thanks for watching and see you soon.